COVID-19 is a pandemic, and people are getting sick. It doesn't matter how clean your house is, because it lives in the lungs. It comes out, gets into the air when people breathe, when they cough, when they talk. How do we keep it out of the air? How do we keep from breathing? We can't. We don't. We can't stop breathing. I will be speaking today about the mask mandate and why it's necessary to keep it in place. I want to say the following. Number one, people have the right to breathe. Number two, COVID is a weapon. And number three, having some difficulty breathing with a mask on is not an acceptable excuse. First, people have a right to breathe, and it is my hope not to infringe upon that right. But a person's right to breathe doesn't and shouldn't infringe upon my right to breathe and to be alive. The mask mandate is necessary because COVID-19 is a virus that has spread around the world, and it's become a pandemic. That means that everyone in the world has had to wear a mask. It is unthinkable that someone refusing to wear a mask while near others and while in my workplace and anywhere else could cause someone to be unable to breathe. That's what the COVID virus is capable of doing. Everyone has a right to risk their own death, but the failure to wear a mask is risking the death of everyone around them, and no one should have that right. When someone isn't wearing a mask, people can feel threatened. People who aren't wearing a mask can be frowned at, or they can be asked to leave a place of business. Second, people who don't wear a mask are risking lives the same as if they were threatening someone with a weapon, because COVID-19 is a weapon. For some people, a stranger or a family member who wears a mask is their only defense. People with compromised immune systems can't be vaccinated. NBC News reported on a story, and the story was titled, "Florida Woman Who Coughed on Cancer Patient Gets 30 Days in Jail." That title is self-explanatory. There was also a story from thespec.com, and it was titled, "The NBA Suspends Its Season When a Jazz Player Tests Positive for the Coronavirus 2 days after the Rapids played in Utah." That's a long title. That basketball player for the Utah Jazz licked the microphone while around many other people, and it was later found out that he had COVID-19. The coronavirus is a weapon, and anyone who does things like this, and people who are refusing to wear a mask indoors, should be charged with assault. I've heard people complain that they have to wear a mask because of people who refuse to be vaccinated. My young son didn't have an option about whether to be vaccinated until recently, and people with compromised immune systems still don't have a choice about whether to be vaccinated. They can't be vaccinated. A person's status of fully vaccinated doesn't protect any unvaccinated person. HoustonMethodist.org states that vaccinated people are still getting the virus and that they are asymptomatic when they do. Everyone who has COVID can be asymptomatic, but vaccinated people are more dangerous to the unvaccinated than anyone else because they are very much more likely to have no symptoms or mild symptoms, while passing the virus on to everyone around them. Lastly, it is not reasonable to say that we refuse to wear a mask due to difficulty breathing. It's sometimes difficult to breathe with a mask on. I know, I get it. But I don't want to be the reason someone is in the hospital fighting for their life. If your mask is obstructing you from breathing, choose a different mask. There are lots of different masks. There's cloth masks, there's the disposable masks, there's very light masks. There's scarves that you can tie around your face. There are so many mask options, but there are very little life options for someone who's living with a compromised immune system. We have only one pair of lungs, and COVID-19 destroys them. COVID-19 is a weapon, and it's invisible. Imagine that all we had to do in order to stop a bullet aimed at our lungs is to wear a mask. My son is in school right now, and he's waiting on his vaccination appointment. In the past, people risked their lives for educational opportunities because certain people weren't allowed to receive an education. Now we can choose not to take such risks. We can choose to get an education, and we can require that everyone must wear a mask. People are coughing on each other purposefully and licking microphones while they are potentially armed with the virus. I don't want to be attacked by a virus that was received because someone was yelling about their right to not wear a mask. I wear my mask around others, and I have the right to breathe. We all do. The virus takes our breath away, and we can't get it back by taking off a mask. Don't argue about putting on a mask. Wear one. Thank you.